Yo, what? Holy shit. I actually can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm finally doing it. After years of trying to scrape through enough to build my own PC, after fighting OBS like it's a final boss, I'm finally here, recording my own goddamn YouTube video. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about whatever the hell I want to and play games in the background. Until your goldfish attention span doesn't jump off a cliff. Y'all know the meta. Subway Surfers to the bottom, some meme on the top, me in the middle rambling like a maniac. That's the vibe. Now listen. I wanted this first video to be chill, like cozy, just me talking over gameplay, maybe cracking a few jokes, letting y'all ease into the madness that is my brain. But nope, life said, here's a curveball. Because while I was setting all this up, I came across some drama that had me like, ain't no way this is happening right now. So yeah, I guess we're diving into the deep end straight away. Today is about Ludwig. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so let's talk about it. What the hell happened at the Beerio Kart event? Why everyone's losing their mind? Why Mango is trending again? Buckle up, let's get into it. Alright, so a couple of days ago, well actually a week ago, which in internet years is basically Jurassic period, this wild situation popped off. And I know your grandma already formed an opinion on it and your goldfish probably saw the clip twice, but hear me out. I still gotta break it down and throw in my 2 cents. So, what happened? Why are we at this weird ass digital crossroads where one of my favorite OTV adjacent
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
dudes is getting roasted alive by a bald man supreme and Dr. Eggman with a podcast mic?
Dr. Eggman! Eggman!
Well, Ludwig hosted an event. Shocker, I know. He's been throwing bangers non-stop. This one was called Beerio Kart, where a bunch of streamers got together, drank an ungodly amount of beer, and played Mario Kart like it was a frat house Olympics. Everything was fine until it wasn't. Enter Mango, a beloved Smash legend, yes, but also someone who's been open about struggling with alcohol in the past. Dude got too lit and then decided, for reason no one can explain, to grab a toad head and started dry humping it near female streamers. Yeah, that happened. You're probably looking at the clip on the screen right now and thinking, bro, what in the Nintendo hell is this? And you'd be right to ask. It was bad, it was weird, it crossed the line. Naturally, people started calling him out. Even Ludwig, his longtime friend, publicly addressed it and said he cut Mango off after the event.
Ludwig publicly banned Mango from all future Mogul Moves events, stating that people close to him, like his partner QT Cinderella and Maya Higa, felt uncomfortable and unsafe.
And then boom, Twitch dropped the hammer and banned him. So what happened next? Look, let's be clear. Everyone knew Mango messed up. Like, he didn't just fumble the bag, he lit it on fire and tossed it into the gas station. There's no defending what he did. Dude was absolutely off one. What he did was not just out of pocket. It left the entire room, flew across the state line, and ended up in another time zone. And yeah, he was drunk, but being drunk isn't a free pass to act like a creep. That's like saying, oops, I was drinking and ran over a puppy. Like, bro, what? You still did that. You don't get a whoopsie daisy just cause you were plastered. Now, Mango did take accountability, I'll give him that. He owned up, he admitted it was wrong. But the internet being the internet, we needed someone else to point fingers at. So boom, crosshair shifted and suddenly it's Ludwig in the hot seat. And the main argument that Ludwig knew Mango had a history with alcohol, that he invited him to a literal drinking event anyway. It's like throwing a pool party and handing an anchor to the one guy who can't swim. Even Valkyrie brought it up, straight up asked, is this event enabling him? And honestly, yeah, kind of. It was enabling. Not intentionally maybe, but you can't deny the environment set the stage for what happened. Now, here's where I throw in my own take. And you might not agree, but that's what we're here for, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Ludwig should absolutely own up to the fact that he invited a guy with a public history of alcoholism to a drinking competition. That's not a great look, and that part, yeah, that's on him. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just some random collab. This was his friend, like actual close friend. Mango had been in not one, but two of these events before. He won them. He knew the drill. He knew the setup. From Ludwig's side, he probably thought, yeah, Mango's a pro at this by now. He's been fine before. He'll be fine again. And that's what makes the situation messy as hell. Because this is what happens when you mix friendship with content. Suddenly, everything becomes a blurred line between what's personal and what's professional. Ludwig wasn't inviting a time bomb. He was inviting his homie, who's pulled it off twice before without being a menace. That's not enabling yet. It becomes enabling when you ignore warning signs. But if you've never seen those signs go this far, man, you're just assuming your friend will behave like they always have. And here's the tricky part. When people start throwing blame around, the actual accountability starts getting diluted. Like it's like instead of holding the guy who did the thing responsible, we start pointing fingers at everyone who was within 10 feet of him. Like, damn, who's next? The guy who gave him the Uber ride? So yeah, Ludwig's not blameless, but context matters. Friendship matters, past behavior matters, and in the end, we gotta keep that core accountability on Mango first and foremost. Anything else comes later on. Now, when I say accountability is getting diluted, I mean this. Every single streamer in that room technically had the chance to step in. I'm talking about basic human decency. Like, if your friend is plastered, someone's gotta be the one to say, hey man, you're done. Sit down, go home, chill out, right? But nobody's going after all those people. Everyone's logged in on Ludwig. And yeah, don't get me wrong, he does hold more weight here. He made the event, he was the host, that carries a different level of responsibility. But even then, you gotta look at the full picture. Ludwig didn't drag Mango in off the street. This was his boy, a guy who'd been to multiple Beerio Kart streams before, a guy who won them. So when people come out saying he was enabling him, quote unquote, maybe, but also that's literally what happens when you drink around people you trust. I've been that level of drunk. I've seen it. And it's not always some malicious guy egging you on. It's your best friend. It's someone laughing saying, yo, get that number up.
Let's up those numbers!
Yeah, I did the bit. Me. It's peer pressure, but not even in a toxic way. Just real life dumb human behavior. It happens. That's alcohol. And this whole pylon, it kind of feels like a take from someone who's never had friends at a party before. No offense. Hey, clear, like, I'm gonna be real, no offense to anyone, but real friends, normal people, do dumb stuff sometimes, and it's not always a conspiracy or a villain arc. So yeah, should Mango be held accountable? Absolutely. He did it, it's on him. Should Ludwig reflect on his role and maybe rethink who he invites next time? Definitely. And he already has. He publicly cut ties, he apologized, he showed regret. But that's where I want to leave this, because I don't want my first video to end up on a witch hunt. I want it to end with a lesson. What happened was wrong, the people affected deserve full support, but after the accountability is taken, the apologies made, and the actions are shown, we gotta learn how to move on. I'm not downplaying anything. I'm not excusing anyone. I'm just saying when someone truly gets it, owns it, and fixes it, we let it go. That's how we heal. That's how we grow. And that right there is why I made this channel, because I genuinely believe we grow as people when we talk. Not just about the funny haha stuff, not just the trending stuff, but the real, messy, uncomfortable things too. The things that sit in silence unless we drag them into light and face them head on. Conversations, real ones, are how we evolve. And yeah, it's tricky. Some of these topics feel like walking on glass. But if we can sit down, speak with respect, and actually listen for once, maybe we'll stop repeating the same dumb mistakes over and over again. That's what this channel is. Not drama bait, not rage content, just one guy trying to make sense of the chaos with y'all. So, if you're into that, drop a like, hit a sub, and stick around, because no matter which way you flip the sandwich, the bread always comes first. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
One eye open when I'm sleeping. One eye.